one summer's day.
It's your favourite.
An adventure.
Us.
Together.
With an ingredient that made us special.
Love.
Love. An ingredient that has no limits, ever expanding and ever growing.
It is love that keeps us afloat.
Or it can hinder us and make us sink.
Love is stronger than any kind of thing.
So is hatred too. What? It's true.
Our existence is full of repeated rhythms and patterns.
It's a pattern we all know.
It's not necessarily a loved pattern, but it's one we know.
She died on a chair.
Their death is a moment not to be replayed.
It was his favourite spot too,
Be serene.
with no regrets or
Toy box tidy.
Will be missed by
The hearts they touched on a regular basis.
But that's not how it always is. Not as pretty as that all the time.
We found him about 15 minutes after he died.
I don't want to describe the details, so I won't, but what I will say is that I found the experience so shocking that apart from calling an ambulance, I had no idea what to do.
I felt really disoriented, like my brain hadn't caught up to what my eyes were seeing.
I didn't cry for a long time. I just felt hollow and reserved and just angry.
On the exterior, I think I took it really well. I comforted a lot of people and I didn't act like too much of a burden.
The coroner only allowed me to see the body after the post-mortem, which made me feel like the body had become police property.
At that point, it wasn't even them anymore.
they say that the moment you see it, it doesn't ever leave you.
The feeling just gets smaller and smaller as you learn how to cope.
Like a balloon that slowly deflates.
But not all the way. To about there.
It's contained in a little pocket of your brain.
A sudden point of contact or sound can take you back to the moment that you saw them.
you just kind of have to get used to it expanding. Again.
And again.
And again.
It could burst at any minute.
But you try to accept what's going on.
Then the big questions follow.
God, this is
what?
just all so,
No, I know, it's a lot.
it's just happening too quickly.
Will the body be buried or cremated? If cremated, where will the ashes be kept or scattered?
We never talked about this.
If buried, who will be carrying the coffin?
What if she wanted to be cremated and I make the wrong choice?
Who will be invited to the funeral?
What if I miss someone?
What are family and friends to wear?
Clothes, I hope.
Will family and friends be having a wake gathering or party afterwards? If so, where?
What, this kind of party with all these balloons? And
Kiss! Comb your hair! Wave your hands! Come on, wave your hands! Superman!
Excuse me, I understand that funerals are supposed to celebrate life, but this feels too
Weird.
Yeah.
It was, and it still is weird.
House that was once so full of life.
Seems so empty now.
This is different from the pattern I remember.
It's really cold in here.
Dark too.
Just boxes and boxes in a cold attic.
Collecting dust. A life contained.
Well, an old life. His old life.
A life that doesn't exist anymore.
She is dead.
Contained in a box.
Technically, a coffin is just a big box.
Well, that's if they choose to be put in a coffin.
I would want my box to be filled with things I want people to remember me by.
I don't want to be boxed in. I've spent too much time trying to get out of the box just to be put back in it at the end. Excuse me. Yeah, excuse me. Can you let me out of the box, please?
My box would be filled with daffodils,
Can you let me out of the box?
Buzz Lightyear.
ukulele,
Necklace.
Can you let me out of the...
toys.
A packet of condoms.
Can you let me out of the box?
A blue button.
Can you let me out of the box?
Picture frame.
Let me out! 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 Let me out of the box! Let me out of the box!
Photos. I want to be remembered by photos. And they have so many of them in their box.
That's just a picture of her in a car.
That's the annual caravan trip. We went to this forest that had a huge zip line. She was terrified to go on, so every time we pushed her off. But she always wanted to go back on.
It's nice seeing you smiling. I think I got so caught up in all the bad memories that I forgot that you did actually smile.
It's a photo of our first time seeing shooting stars. Together. In the countryside of Scotland.
I don't have anything like that.
God, you were only little.
We just argued.
That's just a picture of the wheel of a car.
It's strange that she wants to be remembered by that.
Gather round the campfire, guys! A picture will hold 1,000 moments.
Remember, not everyone gets that.
It all just feels like a work of art now. Just a mixture of shapes and colours into a painting that I see of you. A spirit so young and free and would never understand the world. I hate how I don't know what to do without you. But I don't care what my memories say. I know that I love you and I will always hold your views and excitement for the world. And how you beautifully moulded this shape into less of a monster than it is. I remember how I used to hold your colour so close to me, and how your clothes felt on me, how I used to play with your toys, cars, and your Lego bricks that I built a wall to wall off your bed that I now fill.
Your door's been gone for a while now. But I finally saw it again. There in the corridor next to the bathroom, like it always was. It took a lot to go in there and see it all. The place where we always used to play.
your room. I still remember all the little voices we used to do for our toys when we were kids. The stories we tell each other, whether they were our own or ones we'd seen or read. Taking photos with friends in the garden. Hiding behind trees, building little shelters in the woods. Taking in turns, doing chores. Silly arguments over nothing. And then the stubborn apologies. God, I miss those. Your room was always so messy. You always inspired me. The way you worked, the way you created. I wanted to be just like you. You always had the stupidest jokes. Yet I always laughed. I want to hear one. Please. I want to hear another joke.
If I could turn back time, if I could find a way, I'd take back those words that'll hurt you, and you'd stay. I don't know why I did the things I did. I don't know why I said the things I said. 'Cause I could have it deep inside. Words are the they mean sometimes. I didn't really mean to hurt you. I didn't want to see you go. I know I made you cry, but baby, if I could turn back time, if I could find a way, I'd take back those words that hurt you. You said if I could reach the stars, I'd give all to you. Let me love me like you used to do. My world was shattered, I was torn apart. Like someone took a knife and broke it deep in my heart.
So quite shallowed. If I could turn back time, I think I'd try to find a way to make her live longer.
If I could turn back time, I'd just hang out with them. Watch Lord of the Rings or play Kingdom Hearts.
If I could turn back time, I'd change the last argument that we had. I would tell her it's not her fault that she fell ill.
I just want one of those big bear hugs she used to give. The ones where she wouldn't let go because she knew you needed it.
I wouldn't turn back time. Even if I could. My innocence from that then is what holds me now. To remember is to want more time. It's a lesson I'm going to have to learn, but not today.
Today is about using that special ingredient. Love. To ever expand and ever grow.
And with that ingredient, we realise just how lucky we were to experience that.
Him.
Them.
Or not so lucky if the ingredient was never there.
A spirit so free.
Not just reduced to a box.
Unless that's how you want it to be.
I've seen how much she meant to me.
Grief is all the unexpressed love in the world, and I hope it does stay with me.
I know that I love you, and I will always hold your views and excitement for the world.
And I hope to pass on that excitement to those who didn't get enough time with you.
Leave the bits that I don't like in the past and forget.
And it's okay to forget too, if that's what's needed.
I've decided I don't care what my memories of her have to say, as I know I've had them, and they've made me who I am.
Today, we celebrate her, his, and their life, and how they try to mould this world to be less of a monster than it is.
And how she protected us from it,
More like got us ready for it.
even when sometimes they were the monster.
I think now we have learnt their last full message. Epilogue.
Her final words.
And I hope this somewhat eulogy honours them and helps to explain our different versions of this story.
And this is just our views. Yours maybe and probably are different.
And that's okay too.
We don't need to turn back time into the memories, as a little bit of them lives on.
Lives through us.
Through our smiles,
Our shared views, if we had them.
Through our love for the world and what she had to say.
I don't think that those connections are ever going to leave us.
A little bit of them will stay within us and keep beating on.
We can choose whether to listen to that heartbeat.
forget and find a new beat and song to follow.
On to a new adventure.
Not necessarily a better one, but a new one.